Hey guys, just in time here again. So I just want to take a quick look today at what effects Hurricane Sandy might have on the election. And of course, everybody's first concern is for the people living in that area, and hopefully there won't be a real harsh impact for any of those people, so everybody's prayers and thoughts go out there. And of course, you're not going to hear about either campaign talking about the effects of this hurricane on the election, just for even the possibility of looking like you're politicizing, such a catastrophe. And we really don't know yet, how much of a catastrophe it's going to be. We're going to find out in the next day or two here. But the fact is, I don't know if there's really been an event, a natural disaster, something like this just a week before an election. So it is a fairly, important question how this could affect the election, because this natural disaster could have an effect on the entire country, and a long-term effect at that, if it really does, play into this election. So anyways, I just thought I'd look real quick at some of the effects and who those might possibly benefit more. So the first thing is, of course, campaigning, and the two candidates aren't going to be able to campaign in the area. I've already heard Mitt Romney's canceled some plans to be in Virginia. And between the two candidates, I would say that affects Romney probably a little bit more, because most of the eastern starboard, New England, New York, that area is pretty solidly for Obama. Virginia is one of those that could be in play, and Romney's trying to make up some ground there. So the fact that neither candidate can get to the East Coast right now is probably a little bit more favors Obama, since he's already in the lead there and Romney's trying to make up some ground, but minimal probably at best. TV ads is another big one. All this money's been spent. What if the power goes down and large, vast swaths of the East Coast don't have electricity? I mean, they're not going to be able to see, campaign ads if they can't watch TV and if they don't have electricity. I think, again, that's going to have a minimal effect. I think there's only a few undecided voters really out there, and so the fact that you can't see campaign ads right now probably isn't really going to affect how you're going to vote. Early voting, most of these states that are going to be affected don't really have much in the way of early voting, so it probably won't have much of an impact there. I think North Carolina had some early voting that ends on Monday. And so anyways, most of that's already going to be finished, or it's going to be on Election Day voting only for a lot of these states. So shouldn't be a big impact for the early voting. The ground game now. Of course, Obama's, talked about their vaunted ground game and getting people out to the polls. So, of course, that could be affected if it's bad enough and roads and transportation are down and people can't get out to the polls. And, of course, having a bigger turnout always seems to benefit the Democrats, and that's no different this year. So if there's a lower turnout due to the hurricane, then that's probably going to favor Romney. So that's one category I'd give to him. The last and probably most important factor in this whole thing is going to be being president, and that's Obama, and that can go either way, really. I think it could turn into a Katrina if it's handled poorly, and it could really swing the election, or it could be handled very well, and it could be a huge boost for Obama. So it's just really going to depend on how this thing plays out, how big of a disaster it is, and how well it's handled, I think is going to be the most important factors in how this affects the election. But still, it's a really big unknown, and this, I guess you could say, is the October surprise everybody's been talking about, because there hasn't really been a huge, thing to come out except, for the surprise in the first debate. So anyways, this is probably the big event of the month and the most likely last big event to occur before the election. So we'll see how this plays out, but again, thoughts and prayers go out to people in that area, and hopefully it'll be as minimal, as possible on the effect on those people. So anyways, I'm just in time, and I'll catch you guys next time.